Could Italy beat France? Could they do it? Could they bounce back from humiliation last week and dump out the hosts here in Lyon? I mean, probably not, but it could happen. That's what I want to talk about in this video. I'm Tim, this is Egg Chasers, and as you can see, yes, I am back en français. I'm in Lyon, back in the van, the trusty steed, the Ford Nugget that's looked after me the first few weeks. I had a quick pit stop back in the UK just to see the kids, make sure they still recognise me, make sure the wife was happy. Happy wife, happy life. And I think after a couple of days, they were quite happy to get rid of me again. So yes, I'm back for the duration now of the World Cup, back putting videos on this channel. And if you appreciate the content, then you can give the video a thumbs up. That really helps. Get stuck in the comments, and hopefully I will earn your subscription as well. The teams are in for France against Italy, a game that will be taking place just about a mile that way. And just as I left it, Lyon bathed in sunshine. The weather has been absolutely amazing through this World Cup. And I'll tell you, when I left Manchester, it was howling a gale and hammering it down with rain. So on to the teams and France. Well, everyone was looking at the team sheet to see which of their injured stars would return, if any. No one was really expecting Antoine Dupont to come back. They'll keep him on ice, hopefully roll him out for the quarterfinals if France get there. They've got to get there by winning this game though. And no Julien Marchand as well. Now, as I understand it, I think there's more chance of seeing Antoine Dupont in a quarterfinal than Julien Marchand. Luckily for France, they have some handy backup hookers. Piatto Malvaca is awesome. And yeah, Pierre Bougarit, not too bad on the bench as well. So we'll wait for Dupont and Marchand. But I will say, I was there in Marseille for France against Namibia. And at various points in the game, the cameraman cut to, I think it was Gregory Aldrit was one, Romain Ntamak. They kept cutting to French players that weren't playing. And the cheer from the crowd was massive for both of those two. When, and I'm saying when because it will happen, when the cameraman does a close-up on Antoine Dupont, you just keep your ears peeled for the cheer. It's going to be raucous. But not involved on the pitch on this occasion. And it just doesn't feel quite right looking at France. All the excitement we've had about this team over the last few years, and no Dupont or Ntamak. But Luku, big opportunity for him. Luku and Jalabert, they're all right. I think they'll be fine. But as I mentioned, just to reiterate, France cannot lose to Italy. They missed out on that bonus point against Uruguay, and that means they have to win. So I don't think there's any chance of France not turning up with the right attitude, coasting or anything like that. A couple of other interesting selections when you look at the team is Francois Crowe on the bench and Anthony Jelonch in the starting lineup, which is quite remarkable. If that is the case, as it appears that Jelonch has jumped back ahead of Francois Crowe in the starting 15, that is remarkable powers of recovery from Anthony Jelonch, having had a was it an ACL injury? Good, like 7-8 months out of the game, and he's back in and being selected on merit ahead of Crowe. That is phenomenal. Equally, just look at the forwards on the French bench. Bougarit, Wardy, Aldegheri, Taufifenua and Crowe. That is some serious meat to come off and add an injection of power into your team. And behind the scrum, the other one is Gabi Villiers. Appears to have lost his spot to Louis Biel-Biarré, who was electric against Namibia, has done nothing wrong, but he's a kid in his really early stages. This is an incredible rise. He was eligible to have played for the France under-20s in the World Championships. They won even without him, but yeah, some story. And that's a mighty fine French team. As for Italy, well, they have made some changes, a whole new front row, including, I was just looking at this. I looked at this and went, hold on, Simone Ferrari is a tight head prop, right? He's playing loose head prop. I went and I looked this up. He has started at loose head prop once before in his career. He's been a tight head prop the rest of it. So that's quite nice. That's quite good, isn't it? Danilo Fischetti is injured, I think. So it's like, okay, Ferrari, could you do a job at loose head? I'll give it a go. Yeah, just Owini Atonio is going to be up against you. All right. Cheers. So hopefully they can get a bit of parity there, because they got pumped by New Zealand in the scrum. they got absolutely ruined in the line-out. I wonder if that might be why Nicolo Canoni is back in the second row to try and shore up their line-out. They need to get some ball, otherwise it doesn't really matter who's getting selected. They're going down. Michele Lamaro, I want to see more from him. I mean, the whole team were dreadful last week, but it was uncharacteristically poor from some of the people you expect to do the basics well, and Lamaro, the skipper, was one of them. Tommy Allen back at 10. He's 15 from 15 for kicks in this Rugby World Cup so far. Paolo Garbisi back at 12. Pierre Bruno onto the wing for his first start of the World Cup. Now, it's kind of doom and gloom with Italy, isn't it? They've opened up the questions about Six Nations and should we provide a route for other countries, and that's all off the back of Italy having one horrendous performance. They know how important this is. Yeah, they can still qualify, and that's what they'll be going out to do. But pride, credibility, bit of respect is what they need, because they were embarrassing last week. I'd much prefer Ange Capuozzo in a 15 jersey, don't you? The little rugby pixie at fullback. Now, what I ordinarily do is I will take both the teams and I will say, right, if you had those 23 players for France and those 23 players for Italy, if you were going to create a combined team and just pick one of the number ones, one of the number twos, one of the number threes, all the way down, who would you pick? And I went to do it and realised I wouldn't pick a single Italian over the French counterpart. Would you? Would you pick? Well, there you go, in the comments. Are there any of those players there you would select ahead of those players? Not for me. And I did select a few Italians in the combined team against New Zealand before the game. I think I put Lamaro in the back row and none of the back line. It was a couple of the forwards, wasn't it? Was it? I think I might have even put Fischetti in, which looks silly now. He is a class player though, but none of them today. And what that says to me is, like, just on gut feel, obviously it's nothing to do with how they play, I kind of think France are slightly higher quality than New Zealand perhaps. But we're going to find out. We're going to find out. France don't normally play in this stadium. I've got no doubt the atmosphere is going to be absolutely electric. Cannot wait for that game. But there's more before then. New Zealand play Uruguay in the same stadium tomorrow night. So I'll be there at the ground for that one as well. So loads more videos coming. I'll be in Paris for Scotland v Ireland at the weekend as well. So please hit subscribe and I will see you on the next one.